Hey guys, it's me David, and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars review. Today we have the brand new Bad Batch Attack Shuttle. This is a highly anticipated set. It's, as of right now when I'm making this review, the only set that's based from the Bad Batch television show that is on Disney+. It's been fairly popular from what I can tell. I've been enjoying it, and so I think this set is going to be quite a big seller, especially as we go into the holiday season of 2021. So it comes with 969 pieces. It's going to retail for $100 US. This set was provided by LEGO. It is a review copy, so I really appreciate them for sending it over. Honestly, the second I saw the images of the set, I fell in love with it. I know it was at first controversial that the Bad Batch Shuttle was a sand blue color instead of dark gray, and while it actually is kind of a combination of dark gray and sand blue, it obviously is majority sand blue on this set. I think the sand blue color is the right way to go, especially if you watch the actual Bad Batch show. In the later episodes, I think around 4 or 5, you'll see that in bright daylight, the Bad Batch Shuttle is no doubt a sand blue color than a dark gray. But personally, the sand blue is also just a nice change. I'm kind of tired of constant white and grays and blacks for Star Wars ships, so seeing something that's actually a different color is very refreshing, and it's also very refreshing to see it on those shelves in your store. So the set does actually include all 5 of the Bad Batch members. So that includes Tech, Wrecker, Hunter, and of course Echo. Now Crosshair is in his Imperial uniform, which is a bit of a change. I know that's a little bit controversial with some fans that he should have had the Clone Wars armor. Honestly though, while where we're at in the Bad Batch show, episode 8 is where I am at currently as of making this review. It made total sense for LEGO to go with the Imperial armor rather than the Clone Wars armor, because he's wearing the Imperial armor far more than he is in the Clone Wars one throughout the show. So I think it was the right move. On that note, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's see what you get with this Bad Batch Shuttle. It does include 2 speeders. I'm curious to see what those are like and how the actual shuttle and minifigures are. So let's see the in-depth right now. All right, so now the set is fully built and I cannot wait to dive into this. First, we'll go ahead and go into the 6 minifigures. I really only count 5 of them as minifigures though, and you'll see why here in a second. First up is Crosshair in his Imperial uniform. I know there was a lot of speculation about whether he would have a head or not. He does actually have a printed face, and it looks really good. Unfortunately, no hairpiece. He does have a printed commando backpack, which is a little strange in my opinion. After that is a Gonk droid. It's just brick built, nothing special. Again, I don't know why LEGO counts that as a minifigure. After that, we have Echo, and you'll notice Echo has arm printing for his robotic arm, which is wild. Again, just like Crosshair, a printed commando backpack, a back printed head. Echo also has an awesome face print, but unfortunately no cloth for the waistcape, which is a weird decision. It's printed on. Wrecker, on the other hand, has this bulky, brand new armor piece, which is kind of wild. His helmet uses the Iron Man helmet, a new pearl dark gray color. As you can see, if you take off the armor piece, he has a normal torso print, which is exactly the same as Hunter's, which is a little bit disappointing. The back of the armor has 2 studs on it with no attached backpack. He has a different type of blaster than everybody else. Next up is Hunter. I absolutely love his helmet. I think it looks perfect. It comes with only a knife, no blasters, which is a little strange. Just like everybody else, a printed commando backpack. A dual-sided printed face, which looks really good. However, when you put the hairpiece on, you can't see that little skull, so I'm a little upset by that. Next is Tech, and Tech actually has a printed backpack, unlike everybody else of the Bad Batch. It's a 1x1 piece. He does have that oversized helmet that I know a lot of people are a little iffy about. It looks alright in my opinion. Not the best, not the worst, but it's accurate to an extent. Tech does have a dual-sided face, one without goggles, which actually is a really funny clone face that you could probably use for other characters if you wanted to. Overall, I really like the figures. Next up is a lime green speeder, which actually does show up in the Bad Batch show. Hunter rescues Omega with it, so it's accurate to that point. I actually like the way this speeder looks. I think it's very unique. It's different looking than a lot of Star Wars speeders we've gotten in the past. Here's what it looks like with a minifigure on it. There is a little clip on the back for Hunter's knife or whoever character you want to put on there. It has a spot for some weapons. Moving on to Crosshair's Imperial Speeder, it's literally the exact same design as the 501st Clone Troopers set
speeder, and it's just recolored with different stickers and different pieces. It does look pretty good with Crosshair on it, but it is very, very oversized. Lastly, of course, we have the Bad Batch shuttle itself. I'm a big fan of the design. I do think it's a bit smaller than I think a lot of you would expect to. Thankfully, when you expand the wings outwards, it does get quite significantly bigger, which I think definitely will enhance the playability. It'll just enhance the overall look of the shuttle. So you definitely might want to buy a stand or some Lego pieces that are trans clear and hoist it up so that way it can be unfolded and have a much bigger imprint on your shelves. Underneath the shuttle, you'll see that there is no landing gear. Instead, we have some spring-loaded cannons on both sides that are not loaded because I don't use them. On the top side of the shuttle, you'll see the entire top opens up to reveal a full interior, which is really exciting. There's some stickers on the back side here, one with like a clone trooper helmet and the other with like a Venator and what appears to be a Separatist cruiser. I think that's General Grievous's cruiser, if I remember correctly. Let me know down in the comments. That's a really neat detail. There is actually a little storage compartment, and what you can do with that, you can of course put weapons in it, but what I find it most useful for is the hair pieces for Hunter and Tech can actually fit in there as well. Very exciting. There is a little printed control piece at the front end. Now, as you can see, you can fit most of the Bad Batch figures, Crosshair excluded here, and you have to be specific about where you place these figures. Tech and Wrecker need to go in the back end because there's more room for their bigger backpacks and armor, and Echo and Hunter need to go in the front end. So keep that in mind when you're placing the figures on the front side of the cockpit. Overall, I mean, I think it's a really good set. It does have some inherent flaws that we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes, but I'm pretty impressed with the Bad Batch attack shuttle.
All right, so coming off that, guys, I absolutely have some final thoughts I want to talk about here with the attack shuttle. Also want to compare this with some other attack shuttles that we've gotten in the past couple years from LEGO Star Wars, and that will be in this video. It won't be a separate video, so stay tuned for that. Let's talk about the minifigures real quick. Tech here, I think this is a good minifigure. Helmet's obviously a little bit too big, but it's accurate and it looks pretty cool. I think pretty much everybody will get over it eventually. My biggest gripe with Tech, though, is the fact that they went light gray instead of white, and I actually had a chance to talk to the LEGO Star Wars design team about that, and they told me it was the side of the helmet when they were looking at the original concept art for Tech, that on the side here there's a little, and you can actually see it here on the figure, there's a little skull here, and that was a brighter white in the design from Lucasfilm than it was from the rest of the armor. And that right there made them shift the entire color of the armor to light gray, which is just weird. I don't know. That's a very strange decision. I wish they had done white. I can get over it in the long term, but kind of micro picking here. I think the biggest gripe I have with the Bad Batch figures is the fact that none of them except Tech come with commando backpacks. That was a really strange decision because they actually printed some of the commando backpacks on their back torsos. I don't know why they didn't just do a 1x1 tile as a separate piece just like Tech and make that a printed piece and use that as a backpack, because that makes complete sense. And when you go back to the Bad Batch show, honestly, their commando backpacks are as thick as their own torsos are from the real characters, so it seems incredibly strange that they just printed those on there. Obviously, that can be fixed with custom accessories or just throwing on your own 1x1 tiles, but I wish I would have seen that from LEGO. That's a little bit disappointing for me. Now moving on to these speeders. I actually really like this lime green speeder. It's unique. I think a lot of people really like enjoying putting this in their mocks and stuff, especially if you're making like a Coruscant mock or really any Star Wars city. This could be useful and just, you know, it's multi-purpose, so I like that. As for the Imperial speeder, which is basically a ripoff from the 501st Clone Trooper set that we got last year, you know, it makes sense, you know, because we're only a few weeks and months after the Republic is over and now we're in the Empire age. So it makes sense that, you know, you would have like a Clone Wars era speeder and it would just be kind of recolored in Imperial colors. I get that. but I just wish we would have just not gotten this speeder. And personally, I wish the pieces from this would have gone into making a maybe bigger version of the Bad Batch shuttle, maybe one with landing gear. And that's going to turn into my next discussion about the shuttle itself. Again, I think it looks fantastic in sand blue. I'm glad they went that route. It looks great. By the way, if you're wondering, the stand here is not part of the set. It is a third-party accessory from iDisplay It. You can go buy them if you want. They're not sponsoring it. So, Bad Batch shuttle. Here's my biggest issue. When you look at this set, I feel like the first instinct when you build it is to just grab this top fin, and instead it just opens. There's no locking mechanism. The actual interior here is great. I don't have any complaints about that. You can fit the Bad Batch if you're excluding Crosshair. It's fine. I can get over that. But the fact that there's no locking mechanism here is very frustrating to me. The actual design, very sleek. I like the techniques they've used here. I think it looks good. I do also wish we got some landing gear. It's, especially when folded up, it looks incredibly strange when it's just kind of sitting here on the ground. It honestly looks so small now. If we gotten some landing gear, it would have pumped it up a little bit and just had a little bit more height when it's in the folded position like so. And the next thing I actually want to do is compare the Bad Batch shuttle to some other attack shuttles. So let's see that. So I have 4 different shuttles here. Obviously the Bad Batch shuttle. I also have the 2009 Clone Wars attack shuttle, which is kind of funny. You actually see this shuttle pop up in the Bad Batch show. So hopefully one day we'll get like a newer Imperial version of this. I really enjoyed it as a kid. You have the 2010 Palpatine shuttle right here. And then we actually have the 2021 Imperial shuttle, the smaller version of the shuttle, and it actually compares pretty close into size to this right here. Now keep in mind, this is a $70 set, this is a $100 set. I think this was $60, and I think this was either 60 or 70 when it originally retailed. So here's my biggest thing. 3 of the 4 sets here have landing gear. The Bad Batch shuttle unfortunately does not. Even the 2009 attack shuttle here has some brick-built landing gear. So I don't think it would have been that hard to include some landing gear. They even put some Technic pins right here for the Imperial shuttle. As for the Palpatine shuttle, I love this design. This is, again, 10 years old, and it has this wonderful just fold-out landing gear that works and elevates the set, especially when you compare the two. Like, this is what I want for the Bad Batch shuttle, is to have this elevation when it's landed like that. So it's a little bit disappointing to see that. Another frustrating thing for me when you're comparing all of these shuttles is that you can grab the middle fin from every single one and they won't fall off or open. That is not the case with the Bad Batch shuttle. It wouldn't have been that difficult for LEGO to include some locking mechanisms like these previous shuttles had to open these interior parts. And while they might be a little bit difficult, I still think it's worth that extra 20 or 10 seconds it'll take you to unhook it. Even though it's more convenient to not have the locking system, that was just a big overlook for me, guys. I really wish this was lockable. So hopefully that was a good illustration of my biggest problem with this set. I can't believe they didn't include locking mechanisms to keep this top part from just opening all the time. It's honestly a bit frustrating. I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, David, you're just holding it wrong. You shouldn't hold it by the middle fin. You should just hold it like this. And yes, it totally works this way, and this is the nice swoosh way. I still personally have always gone for this middle fin ever since 2009. So as a long-term LEGO Star Wars fan, it's a little bit disappointing. Maybe kids and other younger fans won't be upset by that because they didn't know what came before it. But for me, as someone who's been collecting this for a long time, that was pretty frustrating to see. So if we exclude the fact that this doesn't lock, and that really does annoy me, and maybe it doesn't to you, I still have to recommend this set. It's a really fantastic set, excluding that one major flaw in my opinion. I still have to recommend it because you see this Bad Batch shuttle in almost every single episode of the show. So if you're a fan of it and you're a LEGO Star Wars fan, it's hard not to want to get this set, I feel like. And when you do pick it up, I think you're going to really enjoy it. It looks so nice on the shelves. I'll probably be putting mine right here. It looks great on display stands. It looks great in really any direction. So overall, I think it's a great purchase. Go ahead, buy it day one. August 1st is the release date, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I can't wait to be using this in future mocks. Hope you guys have a great and wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.